Hello. Please attempt to read the sentence below. You have 10 seconds. Hello again. That was a quick simulation to show you what reading with a reading difficulty is like. Don't worry if you're a little bit confused. We're about to investigate that topic in greater detail during this presentation. A reading difficulty is a below expected academic ability to correctly interact with texts and commonly can be observed from year 1. It takes intensive and systematic teaching to build literacy skills of reading, requiring teachers to be aware of their students' needs and adjust accordingly if concerned. Our ability to understand and use written language in a variety of contexts to construct meaning from or for texts is a fundamental ability needed from an early age to function in this society. Students with low literacy face increasing disadvantages with limited educational or employment options, and thus teachers must take steps to prevent reading difficulties from going untreated. Let's learn how to respond to reading difficulties. Legislation for Australian education is extremely clear. Every school must commit to providing all their students with an education, satisfying their specific needs to ensure they're engaged. There is recognition for the requirement for differentiation and the contemporary push towards inclusive education also. Literacy is a highly valued skill within the Australian curriculum, as evidenced by its status as a general capability, implying that it should be taught and used across subjects, and is necessary for success. Although the terms difficulty and disability are often synonymously utilised in articles, there are very real differences between a reading difficulty and a learning disability. Separating these two definitions ensures teachers have better understanding and equips them to more accurately respond to their students' needs. There are a variety of ways teachers can be involved in the assessment of reading difficulties. The primary focus, of course, must be on determining where or how the student needs help, not on receiving a diagnosis. All contemporary research disparages the old identification method of wait to fail. Instead, a teacher may use informal strategies or formal strategies to collect information. An example of an informal strategy would be collecting a portfolio of student work. An example of a formal strategy could be PM benchmarking. Combining the two approaches, formal and informal collection of data, will increase the opportunities to collect authentic information on reading ability, thus increasing the possibility for classroom reading instruction to be accurately tailored to students. Once in possession of the data, then differentiation can occur. Differentiation would allow for the adaptation of reading instruction to explicitly focus on the needs of those with difficulties. While teaching students how to read and engage with texts, utilising the response to intervention model provides a structure for that differentiation. All students should receive an explicit and systematic teaching on the whole classroom level, the Tier 1 of response to intervention model. At this tier, teachers can still adjust their evidence-based teaching strategies to provide appropriate quality instruction scaffolded to the whole class's needs. Through formative assessment, teachers should maintain awareness of student outcomes. Ideally, Tier 2 would entail small group work for 30 to 40 minutes several times a week of individualised work for those who need extra support. While the best approach is for this group to be led by an individual with extensive learning area knowledge, preferably the teacher or a specialist, a volunteer could be supported in supervising this group. Students who require continued access to more intensive, highly individualised learning sessions with a learned expert are considered part of the Tier 3 bit of the response to intervention model. Despite response to intervention model commonly being used in the United States as a strategy for identifying learning disabilities, it does provide a clear and useful structure for classroom pedagogy. Not only that, but it also recognises the value of differentiating the learning to fit with students' needs, something students with reading difficulties greatly benefit from. So, reading difficulties. I hope you now feel like you have a better grasp on this topic and are ready to help those students in your classroom that do have a reading difficulty. We don't want them feeling like you did all the way back at the beginning of the presentation.